Hi folks, and welcome to another episode of Scout Kitchen. Today we're going to be making creme brulee with 3 ingredients. The first step is to take an egg and separate it into the yolk and the whites. We're only going to use the yolk for this, but don't worry, we're going to save the whites to use for scrambled egg white. As you can see in the jar here, we've collected our egg whites. So we have 4 different yolks. These are because we're going to be making 4 creme brulees. So the next step after that is to get out your ice cream. The recipe calls for 1/2 cup of vanilla ice cream. So we've got some vanilla ice cream. We're also going to be trying it with 2 other flavors. One is a caramel ice cream, and the last flavor is called unicorn ice cream, and that one is a cake batter ice cream that we got at our local big box store. So the next step is to take these and microwave them for 40 seconds to melt the ice cream.
Now that it's melted, we're going to wait 5 minutes for it to cool.
Next you want to start preparing your oven. So you're going to preheat that to 325. You're also going to want to prep your baking dish. So your baking dish can use a kitchen towel, and you're going to want ramekins to go in there, and then you're going to pour hot water. You can probably see the steam coming off it. You want to fill this about halfway the height of your ramekins, and that's so that it'll cook the creme brulee evenly and all the way around. So we're cooking the more water in the microwave in a measuring cup, so we're going to add that to this until this is about halfway up. And then once the oven is preheated, we'll be ready to do our next step, which is to combine our eggs and our ice cream mixture. We will take that and then we will pour that into the ramekins and throw it in the oven rather. All right, well our oven's still preheating, but it's almost there, and our baking pan is almost ready. So now we're going to start mixing the egg into the ice cream. You want to just scrape that out of there, bud? All right, cool. So now we'll just mix it up real nice and good. He's using a fork to mix this. You can use a whisk in a bowl if you want. You can make a bigger batch, and as long as you keep the ratios the same of 1 egg yolk to 1/2 cup ice cream, you can make as much as you want that way. So that one's done. You're gonna rinse off your fork, and you're gonna repeat with the next flavors. For our next step, we're going to be adding our mix to the ramekins. The water is heated up, and the oven will be finished preheating any second now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the vanilla ones into the red ramekins so that we know which ones they are. So don't worry about that. That's just the thing preheated. So go ahead and pour the vanilla into the red ramekins, one at a time. Just dump the whole thing. Don't be shy. All right. Now the next vanilla. And now for the caramel.
You can definitely tell the difference now.
Yep. And now finally the unicorn, which remember is a cake batter flavored ice cream. And it started off as pink and purple and blue, and it kind of is all melted into a bluish green, especially once you mix the egg yolk in there. So now these are ready to go in the oven. So you're not going to want a child to do this as the pan is hot. So an adult partner will need to put this into the oven. And we're going to put it in the oven at 325 for about 40 to 50 minutes. And we're going to check on it, and we'll be back once it's done. So our creme brulees have just come out of the oven, and they're a little bit jiggly, which is what you want. So now they've got to cool to room temperature. And after they've cooled to room temperature, then we're going to put some plastic wrap on them and stick them in the fridge for about 2 hours. You can keep them in there up to 3 days, but we're going to do 2 hours because we want to eat them today. So we'll be back in probably about 2.5 hours. We're going to let these get to room temperature before we seal them up and throw them in the fridge.
So our creme brulees have cooled down in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And now they're waiting for 30 minutes. What?
To come to room temperature.
To come to room temperature. So it's at room temperature now, so we're going to we put brown sugar on it, and now we're going to put it in the oven so the sugar caramelizes.
So we're using an oven, and we're set it on broil on high. You can also use a torch if you have a torch.
Is it still going to taste the same?
Yep. Our creme brulees have come out of the oven, and they are looking pretty good. They're not as smooth across the top as you normally would see on a creme brulee, and that's basically because we use the broiler. So if you do it a little bit too long, it'll really burn it. So we don't want to do that. So it's a little bit clumpy on the top, but it'll still taste great. So if they've been in a broiler like ours have, you're going to want to let them cool down a bit before you dive into them. But other than that, you should be good to go. Enjoy. How is that?